Hey guys, it's Kushkin here, back again with another video. This is not a part 2, but a follow-up to a video I did a few days ago. Although I'm recording them at the same time, which feels a bit weird to me, but there you go. This video, of course, will be World War II, what Black Ops 4 will have learned from World War II, the mistakes it made, and unfortunately there's not really many good steps that they took. So I'm mostly going to be focusing on things to take that you shouldn't do. Again, this is also innovation, remember, that they'll use for the next title from Sledgehammer, because I think Sledgehammer's a good studio, you know, and I think actually what they were trying to do with zombies was pretty good. And I think, you know, with a bit of more focus on the aspects like gameplay and a few other things that of course I'll mention in this video, you know, I think it could have been good. But the video I recorded a few days ago was on Infinite Warfare, so if you haven't watched that, I'd probably watch that, because a lot of what I said in that video is relevant to World War II and the progression we get from that to Black Ops 4 as well, in terms of what they can learn. But yeah, let's just get into it. So at number 5, we have something that is definitely being learned, because we've already seen that it's been learned from this past game, and this is difficulty. So Sledgehammer, they have made a game for the gamers, and they like to put it themselves that this one is for people who are good at zombies, you know. But actually, the difficulty is it's almost annoying how, like, your last zombie suddenly can sprint faster than Usain Bolt, you know. Usain Bolt running from a lion, you know. It's just mad how quick he's going, this last zombie, and he's just trying to kill you. And, you know, you don't have this, like, you have this system where you have armor instead of jug, and it feels a bit off, all that, you know, small maps, small corners, and also, you know, the Easter eggs difficulty as well. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just too hard, like, some of it. Too hard for most players. I wouldn't say just newer players, because I wouldn't consider myself a newer player, you know. I play World at War with my brother. You can tell, a bit too young to have played it myself when it came out. But I played it with my brother, by which I mean I watched. He probably gave me a controller that didn't work while his mate was around, so I thought I was controlling the bottom screen, but it was really his mate, secretly in the corner. But hey, you know, I like to consider myself as a pretty seasoned expert on zombies, and I just can't get into World War II, because every game you play, you have to have your audio on, focus only on this. You can't be listening to a podcast, because any second some big fucking fire thing's going to come around and try and kill you. And that just seems like pretty annoying, pretty unnecessary to me. But what we've seen in Black Ops 4 already, well, we've seen that you can control the difficulty, you know, you can put it up. So if you want it to be hard, you can put it up, and they'll give, you know, there's a certificate saying what your settings were, so you can see if you were on the hardest mode, then everyone will respect you did the Easter egg on the hardest mode possible, the most zombies, you know, all sprinters, whatever, that kind of thing, and that's cool. But there's also easiest mode for a newer player or someone who just wants to do the storyline quick when it just comes out. You know, you want to bang out the Easter egg, and then you'll do it on normal settings. I'm assuming there will be normal settings, and that's probably where actually most people will be playing, unless the callings implement the new sort of what was it called, mutations. If that implements mutations, obviously a lot of people will use that because they want to get the challenges done. But, you know, I think it's probably something that they've already learned, and it's something that we can see they're going to implement. So they've definitely learned that, taken that. And at number 4, we have something that's pretty important. Easter eggs need to be engaging. Okay, on the final Reich, you have the simpler Easter egg. Yeah, I mean, people did it because it was simple. It was quite easy in comparison to the other Easter egg, but it wasn't actually too engaging. Even with all the characters in game, listening to the quotes, you know, it was like, alright. But it was so bad playing solo. And I'm a solo player normally, and it's unbearable playing World War II. That's one of the main turn-offs for it. And then the harder Easter eggs, it's too difficult, too random. You know, it's not engaging. It doesn't progress story-wise. It feels like it's just random steps you're doing for the sake of, we couldn't think of a step that made sense. Kill a zombie in this specific part of the trap to fix it or whatever. Like, it all just seems a bit mad. And Treyarch's always been pretty good at, you know, having an Easter egg that's progressive. So Dyson, I think, is the best example. What an Easter egg. But actually, one of my favourite maps from that game, Zetzabo, I think that was pretty well done as well. If we look back at Infinite Warfare, the Space Sand Easter egg, hey, it was really simple, but actually it was quite fun to do, especially with Director's Cut mode. And Sledgehammer just didn't really get it right on the final Reich. I think on the newest map, people are saying the Easter egg's pretty fun. I've not watched anything about it, really. I sort of keep up loosely with the story, because I quite like Drosten. Obviously, you know, David Tennant's my boy. But, you know, so, I mean, yeah, that's something that Black Ops 4 looks like it will learn. It's something that they've always done right, and just they've been reminded, do not do this wrong. And at number 3, we have something that I want them to try and avoid with the new storyline, perhaps, but it's kind of hard because it's Treyarch. I don't want them to set up these expectations they can't meet. You know, World War II Zombies, they were saying, you know, this is a really good mode, this is going to keep the community engaged for a year, you know, and they seem to believe it, and I kind of feel sorry for them, because I think it feels like it's missed by an inch of being something that we all actually quite enjoyed, you know, because we're always saying we want innovation. It's innovative, maybe in the wrong places, and maybe not enough in other places. You know, we're still doing fetch quests. Again, you should go watch my Infinite Warfare video for more stuff like that. But it's just, I don't know, it feels like they could have done more correct to do that. Black Ops 4, it's Treyarch. I mean, the expectations are really high. And that's unfortunate, because if the first map doesn't bang, you know, if it's not an absolute, you know, I mean, Shadows of Evil, when we look at it, we all think, yeah, that's a really good map. But you got to remember, on launch, there was a lot of doubt in the community, in the first few weeks particularly. Where people were going, I don't like this map, you know, it's a bit too mental, it's a bit too random, you know. And traditionally, unfortunately, in the past 2 Black Ops games, the launch maps have been a bit shite. Like, Shadows, it was good, but again, you know, it was with these new characters, and it kind of threw a lot of people off. And then before that, we had Transit with new characters. So I think the hatred for Shadows of Evil at launch, although not really hatred, the confusion was purely based on the fact that in the past we'd had a map that was a bit of a shocker, and that was with a new crew. Shadows new crew, no, don't want to mess with it. But I think actually with 3 maps at launch, one of them has got to be good. Mob of the Dead Remastered, you know, Blood of the Dead, that will be good, I'm pretty sure. I think we all know that. And 9 looks pretty interesting, and I think the Titanic map, a lot of people are interested in. I'm not that fussed by it, to be honest. It looked a bit, I don't know, it just didn't look that fun to me, but yeah, it'll be good. Coming in at number 2, we have zombie types. This is a pretty quick point, but basically in World War II, we had, you know, these fire ones and these other ones, and apparently through the DLC, hasn't really changed. Now you can get lightning charge ones, and that's it. I mean, that's not enough innovation. You know, we had Thrashers, we had the return of the Panzerfaust, or however you pronounce that, you know, these kind of bosses. Infinite Warfare, we had a lot of different bosses, boss types, round 5 types, you know, stuff like that is really good. I think, you know, Treyarch's always done it right again. It's nothing they're good at. Probably, I don't want dogs as a round 5 thing on every map again, man. I mean, like, the spiders were sick, the flying things were sick, but dogs, I don't know, I don't want them ever again, it feels like. Unless we had something tied in with the wolf on the Eisen, and they made that more so it wasn't about this fluffy, because it's kind of an overdone thing. Samantha's dog isn't dogs, you know, just cloned. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see, it should be good. And at number 1, I have a plea, and I think it's what has failed with World War II. Don't tell us the story in these little released pieces of paper with writing on them. Show us, man, just show us. You've got a game, it's a visual media. I want to see the progression, I want to see the characters' reactions, you know, I want to see them losing their sanity. And I know Black Ops 3, we had like a lot of stuff written with Richtofen, and the comics. I think the comics, I don't need to tell you, that's more visual art, so again, they have shown us it. And with the Richtofen stuff, that's because it didn't try and progress the story with that writing, whereas World War II, they've almost tried to progress the story, saying, oh, this is how they got to here on this map. No, just show us or give us quotes in game, but interesting quotes, not just long, unnatural, non-flowing, just bits where someone says to another character, you know, or do you remember when we were here and then we got to here? You know, that's boring. And I think Treyarch, again, they'll have seen this, they'll have seen what kind of went wrong with World War II. They'll be interested, keen to make sure they don't make the same mistakes. And I think, again, Sledgehammer will be interested in making sure their next game doesn't have these issues that I think were in their first game, which, let's be honest, I mean, some of their staff have left. It's kind of obvious they didn't like it too much. But hey, I mean, it's just my opinion, of course. You got a different opinion, tell me. But yeah, thanks for listening. I'll see you maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe a year, who knows. But yeah, it's going to be good.